a fantasy football podcast. We are your hosts, your tippers, some might call us. We are Matt Regan, Ryan Haynes, and me, Mac. We got producer Kyle behind the screen for us. How you guys doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Doing good, man.
Good to hear, guys. If you did not check out our last episode, episode 21, we did a bracket style on our top tiers of running back rankings, and now we're going to get into the cup check, where we go through the rest of the running backs. We're going to fill in on your bye weeks or flex plays or just some bench depth, and perhaps some sleepers. We'll tip our hands to you guys. So if you are in our leagues that drafting against us, you might want to listen to this one to snipe us. So we're standing by our opinions. So hopefully you guys don't take it too hard on us and take the guys we want. But I just want to say thank you for following us on YouTube at Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast, and we got Apple, Spotify, Google, and Amazon. Links are in the description. You just follow along, subscribe, like the episode, download them. Really appreciate it. Share them with your friends. And with that, Ryan, let's get into some quick briefs here. And
yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
I wasn't sure what was going on there, but
I can't find the drop.
So quick brief change is the is my preferred method. So anyways, there's some injuries in training camp to report. That's right, yeah. Which is 50% of the time, 40% of the time, something like that. Some quick injuries to report from training camp this over the last day. So Darren Waller has an undisclosed injury. He's been working with a trainer and is considered day-to-day. Carson Wentz and guard Quentin Nelson are possibly trending for a week 1 start, which would be very surprising considering the news that we heard last week. And Rashad Bateman, the rookie wide receiver from Baltimore, is due to miss a number of weeks, according to Coach Harbaugh. There we go. And so, guys, going back to Waller, what does this do for his ADP as we're coming up to draft time? Thinking about undisclosed injuries and not really getting a lot of details. What do you think, Reegs? I'm going to throw this to you first.
I'm literally, while you brought that up, I'm literally on my phone trying to look up injuries to see if I could see anything. This makes me really nervous because the big thing right now is those top 3 tight ends, and do you take not a flyer, but do you waste that high capital space on getting those 3? And now if there's only 2, that gets real slim. And injuries are never good, especially with tight ends who also block and catch. So it's a little bit of a different game. So this does make me quite nervous. And I hope something comes out soon so we can figure out where this ADP probably drops to. Mac, do you agree?
I do agree. I mean, if we were drafting this weekend and the news was still the same with Waller, I would not be taking him in the 3rd round. I'd probably wait and go with Mark Andrews, who's becoming that number 1 target in Baltimore. I think his value is going up while Waller's is going down. Yeah. So that's too bad for Waller and Raiders fans, but
Raiders can't catch a break. Sorry, producer Kyle.
Hopefully this is like a true day-to-day and not like a day-to-day, which means year-to-year. So we'll find out. I'm excited about the Carson Wentz news because that's good for my sleeper Paris Campbell. So fingers crossed that happens. And then Mac, does the Bateman injury, does that make you change how you're looking at the wide receiver core? I know you just said Mark Andrews is obviously going to be target number 1, but does it make you feel any different about Hollywood Brown or Sammy Watkins, or that's about it?
Sammy Watkins in the beginning, man, I wouldn't rule it out. We'll see. If he's not going to have much competition, might as well take a late flyer on him. I'm all set with Hollywood Brown, though. I'm good with that.
Yeah, he really hurt me last year, so I'm going to try to stick away from him this year.
We'll get into what our thoughts are on him next week when we get into wide receivers. I got a few few for Mr. Hollywood over there.
All right.
Ouch.
Jimmy G first, Trey Lance. The last one, real quick. Interesting stats coming out of camp. Jimmy G has gone 115 for 186, so a 62% completion rate with 6 touchdowns and 6 picks. That's not a good percentage for touchdowns to picks. Trey Lance has gone 107 for 152. So he's throwing it about 70% completion. And poor Jimmy G. And he's got 10 touchdowns to 2 picks. So, Mac, is Trey Lance starting week 1? Is this changing anything?
Well, it makes sense with all the talk during training camp of them saying, "Oh, Jimmy G's having a great camp and stuff." They're trying to boost his draft capital up to trade him. Draft capital, excuse me. Trade interest. So that makes sense. And when you look at the stats here, how do you not go at Trey Lance? If he's going against the ones on the San Francisco 49ers defense, which is pretty good when they're all healthy, and he's putting up those kind of numbers, with Kittle still being like a little banged up too. So, yeah, I would go with Lance. I know you're a big fan, Regan, so I pretty much think you're saying week 1, go with him.
Well, I'd love to see that, and I think that'd be awesome for the league in general. And you're definitely right on the whole talking Jimmy G up and see if they can get something for him. They only had to trade a 2nd-round pick for him, so anything's just money in the bag. That being said, would like to look into this a little bit more and see if do we really know if he was playing against the ones, both of them? So, that's the only question I might have, just to make sure. I, in general, do think, though, Trey Lance is a better quarterback and better for this team.
Yeah, that's just the total number, so it wouldn't be against the ones the whole time,
Right.
obviously. But, I mean, they're in the NFL. That's putting up good numbers, man.
Oh. Yeah, just the touchdown to interception ratio for either of them kind of, it's just gross. 6 interceptions. That sounds
the
like
good news is we got some preseason games to come, so we'll be able to see, how these two are performing, and I'm sure they're going to go back and forth to, get Trey Lance some reps against, legitimate number 1 starters consistently. So we'll see, but that's all I got for the briefs today.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Thanks for those briefs, man. Tagless and fresh as always. Appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna get into the leftover rankings, our cup checks here. Let's check some cups, guys, and take some tips. Just a reminder for you, your tippers here are going off a PPR format here, all right, with our rankings. So keep that in mind. Check out last episode, like I said, episode 21. We went through the top 20 running backs, like I said. And now let's get into our rankings here. All right. We got the running back rankings on the screen here for you. We'll have them up on a website for you guys soon in the not too distant future. But if you want to follow us on YouTube to watch it, but we'll go through them. And Regan, go ahead, take them away.
Alrighty, guys. So just so we establish what we did last week, we broke the first 20 running backs with the first 4, obviously taking out Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara. Those are our consensus top 4. Needless to say, whenever you get them, you're golden, barring injury or something like that. I'm not going to go through the 5 through 20. You obviously see what we got here. Watch our last episode. You can catch yourself up on what we think of those guys. So right now we're going to start off with our consensus 21 running back off the board, and that would be J.K. Dobbins from the Baltimore Ravens. So I think this one, guys, is really just me having to sell him to you guys. I have him at 16, and Ryan has him at 20, Mac at 26. I honestly, even like last season, I guess, I was not high on him. And this year, after plugging in my stats, what I think he's going to get, he magically just popped up at, 16, which I was actually very surprised about. That being said, looking into it more and trying to determine why I have him that high, I think it's really just the expanded role he possibly could get. He's coming in as a solid RB2, possible RB1 upside, if you ask me. In 15 games last season, Dobbins rushed for 805 yards and 9 touchdowns and 134 carries. Great. We know this team loves to run, and they're talking about just getting their running backs more involved, which is just adding to the workload. So it's honestly a win-win situation. I don't see his rushing going down at all, and I see his catches going up. So if those catches go up, I think last year, I'll have to check where he finished last year, but just think of his stats last year and adding, 30 catches to it or something like that. He's going to be on that cusp of the RB1. I don't know. Do you guys both see this? I'll start with you, Ryan. Do you see this a possibility of actually him breaking into the RB1?
I do. I like J.K. Dobbins. My ranking of 20th isn't a slight on him at all, and I think you put it perfectly. Like, he's a solid running back 2 with running back 1 upside. His involvement in the passing game is questionable, which is why I have him ranked at 20. But his yards per carry last year, the dude averaged almost 7 yards a carry. So, you can't beat that running the football, and they're still going to run a lot. So, yeah, I'm with you, Regs.
Yeah, and he only trailed his quarterback for yards per rushing attempt, which is hilarious. Him and Kyler Murray. So I thought that was really impressive. Mac, you got anything on this? I sell you?
Yeah, I am a bit low on him. But yeah, his receptions last year, he only had 18. I don't see him getting 30 more receptions this year. Maybe 10 more. But yeah, I only have him for like 25 receptions, but 950 yards rushing. So I do see him getting more involved, and with the news of Bateman missing some time, they're going to have to get him more involved in the passing game. So yeah, he should be bumping up in my rankings, perhaps to 22.
You got to see what happens with Gus Edwards and how much they use him. That's going to be key. If they're tailing away from Gus Edwards, then Dobbins is going to move up into that conversation that Reeks is talking about. If they use Gus Edwards some more than they did last year, and it's more of like this 50, 55, 45 backfield, that's problematic for Dobbins.
That's what I think is going to happen. They gave Gus a 2-year extension, right, this offseason. I believe that's what it was, where like 10 mil. So they're going to use him too. So plus with Jackson running, I just don't see enough going to Dobbins to have him break my 24 initially. So yeah, we'll see. But no, you have not sold me.
Damn it. Honestly, I haven't sold myself. I'm still pretty iffy about this guy, but I just see the potential, and I see it possibly written on the wall, and I am excited. All right, so we'll jump to our next guy, number 22, Miles Sanders. I think we're all a little iffy about this guy after coming off a somewhat shaky last year. One positive note: he averaged 18.3 PPR points per game on his 3 starts with Jalen Hurts. So just something to keep an eye on. That being said, the bad news is they have Jordan Howard, Kerryon Johnson, and Boston Scott still there, and they also drafted rookie Kenneth Gainwell. So it is a pretty crowded running back room. I don't think we really have to get into this too much. Miles Sanders, he has the capability of being a good RB2. That being said, I am shying away from him with the uncertainty of how the ball's going to be divvied out between this group. I think Kenneth Gainwell will definitely steal some of his catches away, which is a big part of his game. Like I said last week, guys, if you guys want to stop or whatever, you have anything to add in, just let me know.
We pretty much agree. Yeah, our consensus rankings there. It is a pretty crowded running back room right now. There will be some cuts. I'm not sure Jordan Howard will make it, but we'll see.
My only note on this is just check who was drafted around Miles Sanders at his ADP, because I think you're going to want other people that are around him.
Great point. That happens a lot around that 5th round, 6th round. Actually, I think he's going earlier than that, which kind of
he's earlier than that. Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, so I'm glad Mac started talking though. So I'm going to bring up David Johnson at our 23. All right, buddy. The only things I want to bring up is the list: David Johnson, Phillip Rivers, Scotty Phillips, Rex Burkhead, Buddy Howell, Mark Ingram, Dante Hilliard. A couple of those guys you might not know, but in general, we know Phillip Lindsay, we know Rex Burkhead, we know Mark Ingram, obviously David Johnson. That might be more crowded than the Miles Sanders backfield. I do think this guy has it in him to be a great running back. I just don't know if he's going to get all the work.
Yeah, they're not all staying on the team. Mark Ingram, he is in there to help out the new coach from Baltimore. He was the wide receiver coach. The name's escaping me. I apologize, but he needed some veteran help and somebody that he knew, so they signed him. I don't see him. He was a shell of himself last year on Baltimore, so I don't expect much from him. Rex Burkhead, he's good for a game, and then he gets hurt, so I'm not worried there either. David Johnson, just PPR guy. He was ranked 21 last year, and he got 46 targets. Yeah, it's going to be different with the different quarterbacks this year. I don't see Deshaun Watson playing. It's going to be different, but it's Brandon Cooks and him. I really don't see anybody else taking targets and getting the workload. Except Phillip Lindsay. Phillip Lindsay will get some too, but I might be a bit too high on him, but
I got him at 27 enough. To your 19, so
we're
pretty far apart on this one. You didn't sell me either, so
that's a good range for him, though. That's a good range. I mean, what are we talking? Like mid RB2 to low end RB3?
He's a low end RB2. Yeah, he's not. He's going to be your third at most running back taken. If you go 2 running backs, then fill out receiver and tight end and stuff, you're not gonna take him till late. So he's just
I think Mac hit his ceiling perfectly, and I think Reeks hit his floor perfectly. I don't see him lower than 27. I don't know if I see him higher than 19.
Yeah,
I feel like if he was on a different team, things would be totally different because the guy does have strict talent. He's had like one injury, and that was like a freak broken arm. So the guy's a tank, and it's the Houston Texans. What do you expect? All righty, number 24. I'll bring it to the next one. Darrell Henderson. So obviously Cam Akers goes down. Darrell Henderson becomes the next starter. They are not, or at least don't plan on taking in any veterans or anybody on the free agency. So Darrell Henderson it is at this point. A couple of notes on him. Henderson has only played over 50% of the snaps in just 2 career games. And he's had 38 third down snaps over the 2-year career. They do use him on the third down, but not as much as you want to. And the fact that he's only had 2 games over 50% of snaps is crazy. I guess the only worry is he is being drafted quite high. I think it's like 4th round ADP. And we don't know at all if he can handle this workload. Like I said, he's only had 2 games with 50% of the snaps. It's not.
Yeah, and those weren't even his best games either. So
correct.
Yeah, Xavier Jones, he's been impressing Sean McVay over there as well. So look for a split backfield, and that's what you got to deal with when you get to these RB2 lower end guys. That it's going to be a split backfield. So I don't want to get too repetitive with that, but he needs a lot of attempts, and I just don't see him getting it.
He said this is some high capital 4th round for a guy that we don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know something. We know he's a running back in the NFL, but can he handle the carries? Is what it is. Got anything else, Ryan? Or can I move?
Oh, shit.
No, if he slips come draft time, he might be worth a pick in
I would agree.
6th round, 7th round, somewhere around there. But if he's sneaking up the draft board, again, look at who's being drafted around him or who's available around him, and you probably like your other options.
Said. All right, we'll run to the next one. 25. We have James Robinson, who was a league winner last year, top 10 running back at certain points in the year. a must start, and now they drafted Travis Etienne in the first round, and Urban Meyer is already saying that he's viewing Etienne as the third down back, which is not good news for James Robinson. They did say that he is going to be, focusing more on catching and stuff like that, but that's already a negative for James Robinson because he was catching passes last year, and that's what made him the complete running back last year. So this really scares me. I am okay with taking a flyer on him later on, but he's going to have to fall for me.
Agreed.
Yeah, all right. So I think that's kind of a simple, self-explanatory one. He's a great.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, when will he be faded out? Do you think? Like, what week? Like, I think he'll start in the beginning, but he's not going to keep the job. They spent a high capital on ETN. It's kind of like we talk about with quarterbacks. When is the rookie quarterback going to take over? When's the rookie running back going to take over? Kind of like a Cam Akers coming at week 9 type of deal.
That's what I had in my head. Week 9 is kind of where I was thinking.
Yeah. So I mean, if you got him there later, and it's like, all right, see what he does, and then trade him later, package deal. Nothing wrong with that.
I think where my mindset. Sorry to cut you off. I think where my mindset is. It depends on which direction this team goes in. Meaning, are they gonna? Yeah, right. Are they gonna suck a lot and have to be playing catch up the whole time, or are they gonna be a decent team? I think if they're somewhat of a decent team and not always playing from behind, James Robinson will be a little bit more valuable. If they can move the ball, James Robinson's a little bit more valuable. It could go either way, and I think at maybe your week 9 that you guys are saying, we'll figure out who's going to be that back on this team, at least for the remainder of this coming up year.
Right on.
Alrighty, 26, Ronald Jones for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Both running backs for Tampa are going to be in our top 30, I believe, or 32 at least. I really don't have much to say on Ronald Jones. I am somewhat staying away from this team just because of the backfield. They have Giovanni Bernard now. They have Ronald Jones. They have what's his name? Why am I zoning out? Leonard Fournette. Yep. So, do you guys have anything on him? I'm kind of like, you're just nervous. You don't know who's going to get the run that day.
Yeah, some reports from camp, they're saying that Gio's having the best out of all the running backs. So that's not good.
He's got something to prove. That poor guy's stuck in Cincy forever behind Joe Mixon. I do.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, once I saw that news, I was like, all right, you know what? I'll pick him up. Deep death piece in Dynasty. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he can fill on a bye week.
Like it. All right, let's keep it moving. 27, Kareem Hunt. So we all know what this guy has. He's a low end number 2 running back back when Chubb's healthy. Excuse me. He's a number 1 running back. If Chubb goes down, I think that's so simple, self-explanatory. He is a great running back, but this team has 2 great running backs, and Nick Chubb's obviously the workhorse of this team. The whole team revolves around him. A little bit more on him. That makes Hunt worth a 5th-round pick in PPR leagues, but he has more upside than everyone else at this point. So if Chubb goes down, he becomes, a possible league winner. If you ask me, he's got RB2 to RB3 upside, but with great upside. This he's kind of hard to explain. He's got such good value, but it's an RB2, so you kind of fade away from him. Mac, I know you like Nick Chubb. How do you feel about Kareem Hunt?
So I was trying to look it up. I can't recall if he is going into a contract year, so he will have that extra motivation. I do like those guys, but yeah, I think he only became relevant because Nick Chubb went down. I explained that with our last episode. We were talking about Nick Chubb. And I probably do have him too low. Where do I have him? 31 right now. That's probably too low. With a 17-game schedule, I'll try to get him involved more. He can bump up more, but you're really banking on an injury. But I mean, I would, if I draft Nick Chubb first overall, I'm probably going to go Kareem Hunt as a handcuff because he's the best handcuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like him and Tony Pollard, because if Zeke goes down and Tony Pollard can light it up as well.
To be honest with you, in my keeper league last year, I was playing Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt for some time.
Yeah.
During the year, and they both were actually great. In
that team, you can do it. You can do it with those guys, but you can't do that with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. It's something like that. If Kareem Hunt was on another team as the number one running back, then he'd be a second-round guy.
Quick thing.
Because he's behind Nick Chubb. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just want to throw one more thing out there. So when Chubb left last year, week 4 with an injury, Hunt was a top 8 running back in all formats. And then when Chubb came back, Hunt ranked 18th in PPR, which necessarily is a steal in the 5th round for 18th overall PPR running back. So, maybe not steal, but good value, I mean.
It was incredible value. I just think he's going to be overvalued this time because you were getting him in like the 8th round last year, and now it's 5th, sometimes 4th. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of going to pass on him. But Ryan, you haven't talked much. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. You go right.
No, and I agree. I agree wholly with what you're saying, and I like the Chubb Hunt handcuff, but I feel like what you're saying is that it's going to be very costly to have that handcuff too.
Right.
It's going to be the best handcuff, but also you're going to have a lot of other choices. And this is kind of my common theme of the evening, is that you're going to have a lot of choices in that 4th round, 5th round. And Kareem Hunt as a handcuff might not be ideal in that situation.
Yeah, the only way I would do it is if it was the 6th round. I'd be like, okay, I got 2 stud receivers. I took Nick Chubb first with my 5th, 6th pick in the 6th round, and Kareem Hunt's there. I'll take him, but I'm seeing him go in the 4th. I'm not going to spend that high.
Too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet for the blood. Alrighty, enough on Kareem Hunt and RB2 status. Let's jump to the number 28, Raheem Mostert. So we all think and know he's the fastest running back in the NFL, I believe.
Fastest with the ball.
Yeah, right. So the guy's got talent. He can be a stud running back. That being said, injuries, like most players on San Fran, are a problem. So can he last? Can he not? They drafted Trace Sermon as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Elijah Mitchell. Don't sleep on that guy.
Oh, all right. Throw a little out there. I like it. Talk about a tip.
Deep tip.
Whoa, we just do just the tip here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, but it goes in deep.
Holy bad visual, guys. I'm so sorry I paused.
Whoa, why are you visually? Oh.
That's a problem. All right. Excuse me. I'm not going to get too far on Raheem Mostert if you guys have anything to throw in there, but I think he's a great running back if he can stay healthy. I think that's pretty much what it is. On to the next one.
Yeah, where he's being drafted, low risk, very high reward. So I actually am targeting Mostert in a lot of my leagues just because he's falling fairly deep. So if you can grab a potential number 1 at like a Kareem Hunt in the 7th or 8th round, those are the guys you want to be looking at on draft day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great point because I've actually been picturing that too with getting Mostert a little bit farther down my board, just especially if I go wide receiver heavy in the beginning, to grab him to be a possible top 10 running back, maybe top 20 at the worst. He's looking pretty good. I think his rankings, what do we have him? 29th, 28th, and 26th. I think that's all pretty much based on the guys that they drafted and can he stay healthy. But we definitely all think he has some upside. His ceiling is definitely higher than that. All right, 29 guys, Chase Edmonds. And actually, I'll rank these two guys together. We can talk about them both. So we have Chase Edmonds at 29 and James Conner at 30. So these both are on the Arizona Cardinals. Chase Edmonds has been there for a little bit, but he was behind David Johnson and then Kenyon Drake. Edmonds has literally only had one career carry inside the 5-yard line. He's also had 3 catches, and they were all 4 of those carries were touchdowns, but he's only had 1 carry. That leads me to believe that James Conner is going to be the goal line back, which bumps him up in my rankings compared to Chase Edmonds. Those goal lines, those touchdowns in this high-powered offense, I think is great. Some of those touchdowns will get sniped by Kyler Murray, which we all know, but James Robinson should get some.
James Conner.
I'm sorry. James Conner should get some. And we all saw Kenyon Drake actually do pretty well in the red zone last year with his touchdowns. So, one thing I did want to throw to you guys is James Conner has a familiar face here, James Saxon, who was also the running back coach for Pittsburgh in 2018, I believe, where he had his best season. And that might have been a little, finagle on why they got him and why he wanted to come there. And if Saxon saw him be that good there, maybe he's trying to give him that workload here. I don't know. That being said,
they brought in a new center too, so I believe James Conner is going to get definitely the goal line work if they can get down there and stuff. I don't know what to do with them really. I have him ranked pretty low, but I think I'm in PPR. I'm going to take Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I'm going to necessarily call James Conner a sleeper at this point. I think he's going to put in a lot more work than we all think.
Okay.
I think Chase Edmonds is going to get some of those catches, but James Conner can do that. If this guy can stay healthy, I think he has some pretty big upside.
I have Conner 6 spots ahead of Chase Edmonds, and the reason why I'm thinking that, and again, I'm with Mac. Like, I have no idea what to do with these guys and what to think of this offense, but up-tempo offense, probably a lot of no huddle. It's probably going to be a lot of whoever's on the field is the one who's going to be playing. And then when they get in the goal line, they're going to be swapping out Edmonds for Conner. So he's going to have more opportunities, and he might just get stuck on the field if they get into a groove. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with these guys. I think either way, with the two of them at their ADP, wherever you're drafting them, you're probably getting a pretty good value.
Agreed. And I think of course, you guys should be doing mock drafts. So say you get, Zeke Elliott first round, then you go wide receiver, tight end heavy. These extra running backs like the Raheem Mostert, the James Connors, the guys that are going to should get a majority of these catches or touchdowns. These are guys you guys should be grabbing if you kind of flake on those running backs a little bit early on. They have high upside, but they also do have some low ceilings. Low floors, I mean. So.
Yeah, and be patient with them.
Correct.
To find out. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna go with James Conner, just because 3 years ago he was running back 7.
Got him.
And yeah, you changed my mind here, Ryan.
Yes.
So if he got to running back 7, yes, different team and stuff, but if the potential's there. And Chase Edmonds has never gotten higher than 24, I think. What is it? 25th, excuse me, in PPR, and being with the same team. So yeah, I think I would take the chance on Conner in those late rounds. See what happens.
I think in my rankings, I definitely was leaning towards Edmonds with his catches, but I am definitely flipping Edmonds with Conner, probably straight up 25 for 31.
Yeah, he'll be bumping up. He'll be bumping up my rankings.
Let's not put him up too high, though. I want to get him as
not too high, just above Chase, maybe Mostert, but that's about it. Maybe Ronald Jones too, but Kareem Hunt's got to go up as well for me. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when you get down to this low in the rankings.
All right, guys.
Lots
so
of
we
good
got
points there, fellas. Great job.
perfect. Yeah, so we got 2 more. We got 31 and 32. So just a heads up again to reiterate what Mac was saying. All these full rankings. So obviously we have the top 50 that will be up on our socials, and we'll also be getting that up on the website as soon as we can. So obviously we do have a lot more content for you guys to take a look at. But let's finish it off strong real quick here. We got 31, Nyheim Hines. I really don't got much on Nyheim Hines. I'm kind of upset, but also excited when Max brought up the news or Ryan brought up the news about Wentz and their guard coming back possibly for week 1, which would be huge and get this team going. I think Nyheim Hines is definitely going to have a say on this team, but he's definitely going to be number 2 by far. So, you guys got anything on him?
Yeah, he's just situational. Depending on what the matchup is, you're really not gonna. He's on a every week starter, and he's not particularly just your bye week filler or a flex play all the time either. You really got to look at the matchups, and when we get to it during the season, if we find a good matchup we want to highlight him, we'll do that. But yeah, you really got to pick your spot with him.
Okay.
Yep, agreed. Limited opportunity, probably good. A really good DFS option. If you find the right matchup to plug them in. But yep,
Houston, right?
Limited opportunity. Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. We'll finish it off not very strong. We'll go with Leonard Fournette. I think he's obviously just 32 because we know what Tampa Bay is. They are a powerhouse. They brought everyone back this year to repeat. Something happens to Ronald Jones like it did last year. Leonard Fournette could come in, steal all those touchdowns. Still kind of one-sided on the whole mostly just running game. Not big on the receptions. I think he's kind of just a fill and play. Not much ceiling on this guy. You agree, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't even know if Leonard Fournette has a hamstring anymore. I mean, pulled it so many times. How can it exist? I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about Leonard Fournette. Limited opportunity. Probably going to have a lot of boom bust games. Definitely more bust than booms, but
Definitely.
Not a bad guy to get late.
All right, Mac, anything to say on him before we close out?
No, I think that's enough on him. I do want to bring up one thing, though. Jamal Williams, I know we have him a lot lower in our rankings, but I just want to say I think he's going to be my Kareem Hunt for this year. I just want to highlight when he's out of the shadow of Aaron Jones now, and with DeAndre Swift's injury problems, look out for him in Detroit. He had a couple games where his snap percentage was above 85%. He had 21 and 18 points. Those were the games Aaron Jones was out. So if that happens, look for him being like Kareem Hunt and taking advantage of the situation. And you can get him pretty late.
Oh, yeah.
Or undrafted. Yeah. Well, maybe not undrafted, but very late.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in my league, I'm drafting him. So
not anymore.
Get him before I do. If you
don't blame you.
Yeah. You guys got a favorite rookie running back this year?
Michael Carter.
Besides Najee Harris. We talked about him last time.
Seems like Michael Carter is going to get the most opportunity early and consistently throughout the year.
Same. He's also, I hear he's not too good at pass blocking. So when he's out on the field, he is going to be either going out for a pass or running the ball. So
chop block.
That's best for fantasy football. You only get points for blocking.
I like it. I agree with him too. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. You guys got anything else you wanna for the leftovers? Anything else? You good?
Nothing. Going to the Pats game tomorrow, so I am pumped.
Nice.
Football season is back, and there are free tickets, guys.
And
free donations are great.
Yeah, you didn't get me one though.
There was only one, my friend. I'm the third wheel at this one. I was like, I'm still going. Oh, Josh Wheeler, love you, buddy.
Well, send us those live updates, and I'll tweet them out to our followers.
Oh, you'll get it. I'll bring my koozie and all.
Excellent.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. I just want to say thank you for listening to us and watch us on YouTube here at Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast. Like, subscribe. I want to thank producer Kyle for putting this all up for us. Thank you, Regan. Thank you, Haynesy. I'm going to go watch Hard Knocks. I hear Zeke's looking pretty awesome. Pretty shredded out there, so I'm going to go check that out. Watch his ADP. He's going to be number 2 overall after this season.
They showed Dak's scar on there too. Pretty gruesome, I heard. Yeah, poor guy.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I know you do. You're weird.
I'm weird. I'm into that gruesome stuff.
Yeah, we know.
Good night, everybody.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.